When you think about India's climate, you're talking about some serious extremes. I mean, you've got the scorching 50 degrees Celsius heat in the Rajasthan desert, and then the freezing minus 45-degree chill in the Himalayas. So what's the deal? What massive forces are creating all this diversity? Well, today we're diving deep into the engine that drives it all, the Great Indian Monsoon.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to kick things off with the absolute basics. What's the difference between weather and climate? Then we'll zoom out and look at the big, global forces that affect everyone. After that, we'll zero in on what makes India's climate so incredibly unique. And of course, we'll get into the monsoon itself and wrap things up with the 4 distinct seasons it creates. Let's get right into it.
Okay, first things first. Let's clear up something people mix up all the time. What is the actual difference between the weather you check on your phone every morning and the climate of a whole region?
Here's the simplest way to think about it. Weather is what's happening outside your window right now. You know, a sunny morning that, whoops, suddenly turns into a rainy afternoon. That's weather. Climate, on the other hand, is the big picture. It's the long-term pattern. It's the reason you expect Rajasthan to be hot and dry, because that's what it's been like, on average, for decades.
And that right there is exactly why India's overall climate is called a monsoon type. Yeah, you've got hot summers, cold winters, rainy seasons, but it's that entire cycle, that predictable pattern that repeats year after year that defines the climate. It's the dependable, long-term rhythm of the entire region.
All right, so to really get a grip on India's monsoon, we need to pull the camera back for a second. Let's look at the major forces that control climate pretty much anywhere on Earth, whether you're in Brazil or Siberia.
So there are 6 big factors that basically dictate what the climate is going to be like in any given spot. Now don't worry, we're not going to get lost in the weeds with all of them. We're just going to focus on the few that are absolutely critical for our story today.
This one's pretty easy to wrap your head around, right? It's the reason why hill stations like Shimla or Uti are these cool, amazing getaways, even when the plains, just a few hundred kilometers away, are absolutely baking in the heat. Simple rule, the higher you go, the cooler it gets. Now this slide here, this is the secret sauce for understanding wind. All you really need to remember is one simple rule. Wind always flows from high pressure to low pressure. And this whole process where the land heats up way faster than the water, that's the absolute key to understanding the monsoon. So tuck that away because we're coming back to it.
Okay, so we've got the global playbook. Now let's apply those rules directly to India. What are the specific things about its geography that cook up such a unique climate?
First off, just look at where India is on a map. The Tropic of Cancer literally slices right through the middle of the country. That means the southern half is in the hot tropical belt, while the northern half is in the more temperate subtropics. Right there, you've set the stage for some major temperature swings. It's like the country has a foot in 2 different worlds.
And this is the real game changer. The Himalayas aren't just a bunch of tall mountains. They are a massive climate shield. They're like a giant bodyguard for the subcontinent, blocking all those frigid, icy winds sweeping down from Central Asia. Without them, believe me, northern India would be a much, much colder place in the winter.
So, that leaves us with a pretty big puzzle, doesn't it? If the cold winds from the north are blocked, and the winds that do blow over India in the winter are coming from the land, which means they're dry, where on earth does all that legendary monsoon rain come from? Well, the answer lies in a complete 180-degree reversal of these wind systems. And now, for the main event. We have to understand this isn't just a weather pattern. It's the engine that powers India's climate, its farms, and has shaped its entire culture for thousands of years. You see, the monsoon isn't triggered by just one thing. It's more like a complex dance, a perfect storm of atmospheric events all coming together. But the big one, the one we talked about, is that intense summer heat over the land, especially the gigantic Tibetan Plateau. It creates this huge low-pressure vacuum that literally starts pulling in all that moist air from the oceans. But, this powerful system is also kind of delicate. It can be disrupted. So look on the left. In a normal year, you get high pressure over the Pacific and low pressure over the Indian Ocean. This pulls the moisture right towards India, giving you a strong monsoon. But every so often, a thing called El Niño flips that system on its head. The pressures reverse, and as you can see on the right, that can seriously weaken the monsoon, sometimes leading to droughts. And the monsoon doesn't just show up everywhere at once. It's not like flicking a switch. It's more like a grand tour. This massive weather front arrives on the southern coast in early June, and then it methodically marches its way across the entire subcontinent, splitting into 2 branches, before finally blanketing the whole country by the middle of July. So this huge annual cycle, this back and forth, this coming and going of the winds, that is what creates the framework for India's 4 distinct seasons. And this chart just lays out the whole year perfectly. You start with that cool, pleasant winter from November to February. Then that gives way to the intense, dry heat of summer. And then the main event, the advancing monsoon, brings rain to pretty much everyone from June to September. And finally, as those rains leave, you get this really unique, sticky, humid period called the October heat.
And during that summer season, if you've ever been in North India, you know exactly what this is, the Lu. These are those powerful, gusty, super hot and dry winds that just make the daytime heat feel even more brutal.
And here's a cool little detail. Just before the main monsoon arrives, something fascinating happens in a couple of key states. In places like Kerala and Karnataka, you get these pre-monsoon showers. They're famously called mango showers because, you guessed it, they show up at the perfect time to help all the local mango crops ripen.
You know, this quote really just nails it. The monsoon is so much more than rain. It's a unifying bond. It's this incredible atmospheric event that connects the entire subcontinent, tying the fates of people from the highest mountains to the lowest coasts together in one shared seasonal experience.
I mean, just stop and think about the impact for a second. The lives of hundreds of millions of farmers totally depend on its timely arrival. Major festivals are scheduled around it. The very greenness of the landscape is all thanks to this annual cycle. Its arrival is one of the most eagerly awaited events of the year, every single year.
So it really leaves you with this powerful thought, doesn't it? How can one single weather pattern have such a profound impact, shaping not just a nation's economy and its landscape, but its culture, its festivals, its entire spirit? It's a pretty amazing reminder that sometimes the most powerful forces that define us, well, they come from the sky.